All right, guys, welcome to the Higher Level Live. We got Kali Somerville with us. Muhammad Kali.
Yes.
You're like my son Tino.
I'm like your son,
like,
Tino.
Name-wise. Like, we got a lot of nicknames for you. Because Kali's easy to nickname. Tino's probably got, what do you think, Frankie? 64 nicknames? And they just keep coming.
Okay.
Like,
I got on a couple. Cauliflower, collard greens, California.
Right? Muhammad Kali.
That one.
Little boy in Florida last week before, was calling Tino jalapeno.
That's good.
Can't make it up. So anyway, guys, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the notifications button, share this page. We be forever grateful, and we can help more people.
Absolutely.
Because here's what I do know. Like 4 months ago, not everybody, like a lot of people were whining about the internet leads.
Oh.
Like whining.
Yeah.
Almost embarrassing whining.
I whined a little bit before to myself.
To yourself. Well, at least you didn't say it out loud. It's like, I firmly believe if you give me a phone book, I could set 20 appointments in 2 hours.
Wow.
But
we
I
should
believe
do that.
that.
We should do that online. We should do that.
Well, we can't. Well, you got to, because you can't call the phone book. You got to DNC, TPCA
okay.
stuff. Now, if you give me a raw list of people, I'll do it.
Okay.
I'm 100% sure.
We should figure out how to do that.
Let's do it. Because here's the thing. When you believe it, it happens.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, like, I guess you've been listening to all the stuff going on, corporate wise, and people screaming internet leads. And instead of going, they're not using internet leads. They're using something different. They're just not telling me because those leads aren't good.
Yeah.
You just did it.
Yeah. I got intentional about it, though.
All right. So talk to us. So over the last couple of weeks, you've helped, 24, 22, 23, 24 families?
Yeah, the last 2 weeks.
Last 2 weeks. And that's a bunch of money deposited in your account.
It is.
That's a bunch of families helped.
It is.
So ain't nothing wrong with that. So are you calling 100% internet leads right now?
Yes.
Okay. You know why I love that so much?
Why?
No lead debt.
No.
It's inexpensive for any agent to start. And it's inexpensive for any person that wants to build an agency to help agents with leads. Like back in the day when you started, if I wanted to give you 50 leads,
yeah,
I mean, it would have cost me like $3,000.
Yeah. I mean, my first lead order was Game Time, and they were $20 a piece.
Yeah.
And I spent $600 on 30 leads.
On 30 leads.
Yeah.
And the mortgage.
That was scary.
Right. Well, and that's the thing too. It's like, if you're calling a $20 lead or even a 50 and you mess up or they hang up on you because they do, you're like, your mindset immediately is shot. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But with a $3 lead, you're like,
on to the next one.
On to the next one. So can you kind of go through what adjustments you've made over the last month and a half to bring your mindset, your activity, everything to where it is now, because you're dialed in?
Yeah. It was just a decision, Frank. Like, that's all. It really, every time it's a decision. I don't know what changed. I just said Dominique Rogers was here. What is that? 2 months ago?
It's been, about 2 months ago.
Yeah. And he was talking about, how he dialed, and I didn't do it right away. No one ever listens right away, including myself. But I said, I'm going to sit here and print these leads out. And they've been on sale. Like, that's the other thing.
It's like twice a week.
Yes. And like 40% off,
It's
50%
so
off. And so that's probably when, like, in the last couple of weeks when WorkSpouse is making these crazy discounts, I've just been stocking up on them.
Right.
And taking 30 at a time. Right. It's probably taking me longer than it should because I'm doing it like old fashioned,
right,
like dialing one by one, but I'm taking a stack of 30. I am calling them once the first time through. And I was thinking about that this morning. I'm calling from, so I'm at, we have a 443 number.
Right.
But I'm calling DC, which is a completely different area code. Because in my mind before, if I call DC, I have to have a DC area code. I haven't used DC area code at all.
Right.
I'm using my phone number. Okay. But going through it once, right, letting it ring 4 times, going through the list again, twice, calling twice, going through it again, calling twice, going through it again, calling twice. And then the last time it starts 67. Now, it's a little bit different from what Dominique does because I think he goes through like 4, 5, or 6 times.
Right.
But when I've gone through it, like by the third calling twice, they're either going to answer or they're not.
Right.
at that point. And then I have a good idea of who I can door knock because these people are just not going to answer the phone.
Gotcha.
So I've tried like leaving messages for those people, like that last little
Why
stack
not?
of
Yeah.
people. I've tried texting. They're just not responding.
So nothing at all.
No.
Okay.
It would be a door knock.
But you're setting a point. I mean, you're door knocking in between.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You're getting all your appointments set.
Yes.
And it's not even taking you that long.
Like 2.5 hours.
And now that we have this new tool, we're not going to say the name of the tool.
It's going to take me like 30 minutes.
Dude, it's so, I'm jumping up and down. I'm going back in the field just because.
Okay.
Like I'm legit going to do, right. I'm going to help 25 minutes a week.
Okay.
Because with that resource,
yeah,
stop it.
Yeah.
Right? There'll be no excuses.
Right.
None. So that's so funny. So what was your lead flow mix before? I mean, you had some mail, didn't you?
Yeah, I still do. I have a couple like mortgage mailers, but it's not like, it's not like 100 a week. Like, one or two might be coming back.
Right.
So, and that's in Charles County. So I'm waiting for those to kind of like pile up and then I'll go to Charles.
You go run it.
Yeah. So, but it's really strictly been CRM.
Dude, I love this.
ILC.
ILC. Right. Well, we've been, it's crazy when things kind of get a little hectic, if you will.
Yeah.
People look for excuses, I think. And it's just human nature. It doesn't make them wrong, but it's for me, it breaks my heart when folks go like, it's not possible, or, there's something else more to it. Mm-hmm. Because if, sometimes you feel like you want to shake somebody.
Right.
Because you're like, stop. Like,
right, with excuses.
And it's like they just don't believe you.
Yeah.
And it's like, why would we lie to you?
Yeah.
If we're really trying to, first of all, that'd be bad for business.
Right. Because you'll figure it out that we're lying.
Correct. And then they just have this, whether it's low self-esteem or a complex, I don't know what it is, but they refuse to just believe it can be that simple.
Yeah.
Now, the activity part of it's not, I don't want to say that simple. It's easy, but it takes discipline, commitment, structure.
Consistency.
Right? Consistency.
Yeah.
You said you got very intentional.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit? Because that's a big deal for a lot of people. It was a huge deal for me in the business.
I mean, I think it, like you said, like the mindset, like I'm doing some different things in the morning, Frank. So when I wake up, I'm listening to this prayer on YouTube. It's like 15 minutes long while I'm getting dressed. I'm doing affirmations in the morning. So when I'm getting dressed in the morning, I'm getting my mind dressed too at the same time.
Your mind right. That's right.
So, and that's what I wasn't doing before.
Sure.
You know what else I did? I started coming back to the office.
Oh, snap.
The magical office. I was
office.
doing a lot of stuff from home, and it's a lot. It's too many
distractions.
Lonely. It's lonely. Yeah. So I started coming back. That's what changed. That's literally because I was like, I don't know what it was. Me just making it coming back to the office.
That's
Monday
part of it.
and Friday.
Yeah.
And because I know what I'm here for. I'm here to work.
Right.
Like at home, I'm laundry, dinner.
Sure.
Like I can do all different things.
That's
but
right.
Getting focused and coming in office focused, like working this like a job.
That's right.
Even though it already does pay me like a business.
That's right. Well, and that's
but
the key
still
to
working like a job, working like a job, being here, getting up at a certain time, getting here by a certain time, leaving when the work is done, not just because it's 5:00.
Right.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
I couldn't work from home. I could never work from home.
Well, I can't either, obviously.
Well, go back to the getting your mind right in the morning, because like I was having a conversation with Junior over there.
Yeah.
Like, when was that? Saturday? Sunday? Yesterday? 2 days ago? Whatever. And he's like, I'm not where I want to be. Yada, yada. And I'm like, dude, first of all, knock it off. Second of all, every morning when you get up, if you just speak what you're thankful for. Mm-hmm. The guy, Austin Hatch, that had been in two plane crashes, he kept saying, that when we traveled with him, he was saying, you can't be, what did he say? You can't be negative and grateful at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Jamie says that all the time too.
Who's that?
Jamie.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, she reads a lot of the book. But, I mean, it's like, it's so true, though. If you just, first thing you do when you wake up is be thankful for waking up, waking up where you wake up.
Right.
Air conditioned, heat, right? Controlled environment. Bills paid. Then you can't start on the wrong foot. But if the first thing you think about, which I think a lot of agents do when they wake up, is, I got to call these leads.
Yeah. And I'm not, and that's the other thing. I'm like, I'm like Friday afternoon, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is not mindset before, but like I was having trouble booking these last 3. Like it was taking me longer
Right.
than it was taking me before. And so I just said, these last 3 are going to come easy. I'm going to book these last 3 easily. Just like that. Pop, 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 pop. Like the next 3 people that answered, I booked the appointments. And because I was getting into, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh gosh, it's taking all day, all the negativity.
Right.
And I just said, nope, the next 3 I'm going to book. And then I booked them.
Does that ever freak you out?
What?
How weird and powerful that is?
I don't know if it freaks me out, but I know it works.
Yeah, it works.
Like it works. Like, and we just had on our Saturday training call, on our team call. That's what I was talking about is, you know, believing in the system,
right?
Trusting the system because it works. Like no one can tell me that this system does not work here. Like no one can tell me that.
Nobody.
No one. I don't care which their results are. I'm like, I don't know what you probably just didn't follow the system. And the whole thing, what I was telling them is this is a recipe, right?
Yep.
So if you bake a cake and you leave out the baking soda, your cake is not going to turn out the same way.
That's right.
But you want to leave out the baking soda and the salt and the sugar and wonder why your cake is flat and tasteless.
Right.
Because you're not following the entire recipe.
Well, and that's a great analogy because like the baking soda could be waking up in the morning and affirmations. Mm-hmm. The flour's like buying leads. The sugar's making phone calls. But like all the others, the dash of salt, the vanilla, you know what I mean? Whatever
the vanilla extract. If you miss one thing, it's not going to turn out. Your cake is not going to be the same as mine.
Dude, that's priceless. It really is priceless. How long did it take you to figure that out? Like, I mean, and I'm not. It's not hard to figure it out, but it's like I think there's a point in this business. It's like to me, it's a tipping point where it just the light switch goes on. You're like, holy, like.
I mean, I figured that a long time ago, but you know, we've talked about this, Frank. Complacency can set in.
Okay.
And life. You know, when I got here, I knew what I came here for.
Right.
And then I got it.
Yeah.
Right? And then I had to figure out, okay, so now I got it. Now what's next?
You got to dream bigger.
Yeah. So
they're always changing, right?
Yeah.
So what are your dreams? Like you have a son, you have Kai, and you've got. I mean, what is it that you want?
So for me right now, the thing that's really pushing me, I'm sure you've seen the Women in Business podcast, right? So really I don't know, offense men, you know, but inspiring other women.
Sure.
Right? Because women in this industry, it's not a lot of us. It's more men. It's male dominated. Yeah. And I feel like if I can do it, anybody can do it. Like I'm not special. We say that all the time, but it's real. Like I'm not special.
Right.
Like I came here, put my head down, went to work, and then I changed my life. And then but what I also realized is that what got me here is not going to get me to the next level.
That's right.
So there's some other changes that I need to make as a spiritually, mentally, physically, in order to continue to grow with the company.
No doubt. Well, and you are special. Like, and to set like nothing we do requires special skill set.
Right. Like
we're not dunking basketballs or, you know what I mean? Throwing a bat. I was watching a game last night. The guy threw 102 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
That's special.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I could swing. I mean, I could throw as hard as possible and it probably wouldn't break 80.
Right.
You know what I mean? 102. But like you made a decision to get up in the morning, be thankful, to get in the office early, to work this thing like it's a job. Like all that stuff is not special, but the fact that you putting it all together is special. You know why?
Cake.
That's the cake. But less than 10% of the country or population will do what you're doing to be successful because they're thinking it's something so much more than what it really is. Mm-hmm. That's what, like that, if we could just, the Matrix plug people in.
Yeah, so they can see.
Download it into their brain. Gosh, it'd be so amazing. So we just need more folks like you and the team's growing. Yeah. Moving.
Yeah.
Corinne's killing it.
Yeah. She's doing the same thing. We're running the same play. Like I think last week, maybe she had like a rough week last week, maybe six. But the week before we went to Dallas, both of us were in 2 days, helped 9 families in 2 days right before we went to Dallas.
Unbelievable. And I love, like Corinne's a single mom and like single.
Yeah,
mom,
single mom.
Yeah. Not like get some help every other weekend. Yeah, or, you know what I mean. When I was a single dad, but I had my kids 50% of the time.
Yeah,
actually, when they were younger, like 60% of the time. but like she's got 100%.
Yeah.
And she never uses an excuse.
No.
She is constantly happy.
Yeah.
Right. Grateful.
Yeah.
And I think that goes a long way.
It does.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your goal team wise by the end of this year? Personal, team, and then anything that you're passionate about. Like I know you want to help women. Like so for us, it's Sandy Bay, that orphanage. Like it just breaks my heart. Anything like that you'd like to?
I give a lot to my church.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start doing more volunteer work because they volunteer in the city a lot. So definitely want to be able to assist with that. But like yesterday, an offering, like before offering,
It's all right.
All I can pay is my tithes. I can't even pay those. So, and then they have, different outreaches. So
right.
to be able to just $1,000 for back to school or,
right.
$1,000 for Thanksgiving turkeys, like I can do that. And I don't have to check my bank account.
Ain't that awesome?
Part. Yeah. But you asked me some other stuff before that. What did you ask me?
What's your team goal?
Oh, team goal. We definitely need to get the board member this year. I had it for March, was the goal, and we're growing. We're growing. So I would say this is June. Next 3 months, we'll have 1 million. If
I
not
agree.
Sooner.
Because with the belief in the internet leads, because it's the only way you can get there now.
Yeah.
Because mortgage mails stop.
Yeah.
Rates are at 6.5%.
Yeah.
So they're going to trickle in when a purchase happens. So like that's out.
Yeah.
You can use final expense at $30 a pop. Why not $3, $4, $11, $9, and then 50% off, $4.50? Like, why not just do that? And then with again the new tool, you'd be like live on with people. You could just coach them through it live.
Yeah.
There's no way in the world y'all won't hit board member by August, September.
Yeah, that's
right?
the plan. Yeah, but I said March, but it's
well, we're already past March. Oh, you talking about next March?
At home I said March 2022. So
okay.
Yeah, we got to readjust the goal.
We're gonna get it.
Yeah.
And then how about personally?
Personally, I'm still focused on Hall of Fame.
Okay.
So.
I think everybody should hit Hall of Fame production, Hall of Fame team.
Yeah, that's because I have it in my kitchen. I have a blackboard, and so I see it all the time. My goals, like my daily goals, my weekly goals, my monthly goals, my yearly goals.
Right.
Like my big goals are up on the board.
Kyle, you've grown so much in the last 2 years. It's unbelievable. But
3. I've been here 3. This month makes 3 years.
But you've grown a lot in the last 2 years. I'm just messing with you. Can you do us, because it's a little bit of time left, but where you've come from, I mean, with the Blue Room and your dad passing and driving part-time and not having a car that was your, like all that stuff. I mean, would you share just a quick background of that and what Family First Life has done to change your life? And if somebody wants to come and change their lives, how they get a hold of you?
Yeah. So June 2019 is when I started FFL. I was living in my girlfriend's house, paying $400 a month, and I couldn't afford to pay the $400 at once. I had to pay $100 a week. And I started FFL June 27th or 28th of 2019. A year later, I moved into an apartment closer to the office because I was 70 miles one way where I started out with FFL.
But you drove 70 miles. How long did it take you to get to the office?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Twice a week.
With no traffic.
Right. No, there was traffic when I started. It was before the pandemic.
But if it was bad, it'd be 2 hours plus, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
With normal traffic, I should say.
Yeah.
And you came at least 2 days a week.
2 days a week. Because I had to drive Lyft on the weekends to make money for, like it was, I was robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Okay, continue. But to me, that was the first sign that you were committed because you would show up.
And then I know, I know me and you never even had a conversation. Like you didn't know what was going on with me personally. I just kept showing up until I just knew it had to work.
My feelings were kind of hurt that you didn't tell me any of that.
Because I don't like to complain. Like I figure stuff out, you know what I'm saying? And so then the following year, 2020, I moved into my own place. Downtown Baltimore. I bought me a little Hyundai Sonata.
Right.
And then last year, so I moved into a luxury apartment. And I'm driving a Lexus.
There you go.
Yeah. So, and I'm good where I'm at right now. I'm gonna stay put for a minute.
Sure.
Because I don't want to just keep upgrading because I can. But
right.
I was telling a story the other day, Frank, real quick. My son, so he's spending the summer in Canada. So he called me. He's like, Mom, I left my bag on his bus. I'm like, how did you do that? And he was like, I don't know. So I was like, what's the ask? And he was like, I'm not asking for anything, but he knew who to call, right?
Yeah, that's right. I just had all my food in there for the month.
His clothes, all his clothes, he left everything. He was like, I went to the thrift store, I had a couple of dollars, went to the thrift store and bought some clothes yesterday. And I was like, Kyle, what do you need? And he was like, I'm really not asking for anything. I said, I'm gonna send you $200. And I said, is that good? And I give the boy $175 a week allowance just for, and he's 21 years old. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, Frank, I couldn't even buy him a Christmas
no doubt.
gift.
I know, I remember that.
Yeah, so 3 years later, last year he was working for me on my payroll. His dad called me during the spring semester of college, and he was like, I need a favor. Can you help me pay the rest of the tuition? I was like, how much is it? He was like, if you can pay $1,400. I was like, well, what's the total? And he was like, it's like a $3,800 left. I was like, I got it. He was
nice.
Like, what?
Wait a minute, why'd I divorce her?
Right. So he has a new Mrs. Somerville, so but I'm the original.
She ain't holding a candle to you.
But yeah, just to be able to, what I'm saying, like when it's an emergency, and that wasn't necessarily an emergency, but I got it, and I didn't have to check my bank account to see if I could do it.
No doubt.
I said it, and I sent it over.
I love that.
Yeah,
it's such a blessing to have you here. I'm not kidding you. Validating the system and I talked to an agent about 10 minutes ago. Called me and said, I'm struggling recruiting agents from the place you came from. And I'm going like, what do you mean you're struggling? He's like, they don't believe me. I said, well, first of all, you're not doing it enough because like, you didn't believe me, but you believe me enough to I put doubt in your head.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But he's like, they just keep hanging up on me. And I'm like, just go out and serve a bunch of families and then throw it in their face. And then they'll eventually all come work with you because they should. This has been life-changing for you.
Yeah, heck yeah. Like Frank, my life is so much different. I mean, even like when I had some money, you know what I'm saying, before the other company, like it can't even hold a candle to it.
Don't even hold a candle.
Like they'll say there's such a peace of mind in not having to check my bank account. My bills are paid, like all of my own automatic payment, and my bills are not cheap.
Sure.
So like just, and knowing that, and then I think the biggest peace of mind, and it took me a while to even get peace of mind about it, is that I know that if I put my head down and go to work, I can make money.
That's right.
Like it's no question. You know what I'm saying? If I want to go and change, like if I don't like how my bank account looks today, I go out tomorrow, go out the next couple of days, and my bank account will look completely different.
That's right.
So like having that faith, because in the other company, I didn't know where my next client was going to come from unless I recruited you. Got your list.
That's right. That's right. We just call people that ask for help. It seems to be a bit easier.
It is.
So guys, Kali is killing it. If y'all want to work with somebody that is humble, passionate, serving, selfless, call Kali. She will help you. She's been through ups. She's been through downs. She's been back up and everywhere in between. She's navigated the waters with great. I mean, honestly, like I used to say this about you all the time. Like you're very even for you. You come into me, go, I'm still, I'm still female. I cry sometimes. But like I because you're always just so level. Yeah, it's just in business. It's a great attribute to have. So it's probably a big reason for why you are where you are.
I did a lot of cry. I cried a lot at the other place. So it's
all going. Perfect.
Because that made my skin tough. Yeah. Like everything that I dealt with is nothing compared to anything that I'm going through here. So like a chargeback, okay, right. Or even chargebacks, roll up that, okay.
That's right.
Just keep working, it'll go away.
That's right.
That's it.
So reach out to Kali if y'all want some help. Kali, how do they get a hold of you? Facebook, Instagram, phone numbers?
Facebook is Kali Somerville. Instagram is FFL Fury or Kali Somerville. Phone number is 443-453-6126. Men, don't be knocking my phone down.
Don't be knocking the phone down. We're a big family. That's right. Muhammad Kali in the flesh, the one and only, the greatest. We appreciate you, honey. I'm proud of you.
Thanks,
excited for you. We love you to death.
Love you too.
Guys, until next time, make it a big week.